Imagine waking up every morning with an unshakable sense of purpose, undaunted by the challenges ahead, unaffected by the noise of the world, and laser-focused on what truly matters. Sounds almost superhuman, doesn't it? But this was the everyday reality of Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. His writings, collected in Meditations, contain profound wisdom that, even today, offer a roadmap to mastering self-discipline. If you're ready to unlock the secrets of unwavering self-discipline, stay tuned as we dive into 10 powerful Stoic principles that can transform your life. Define your purpose. Let's begin with the first and arguably the most foundational Stoic principle for self-discipline: defining your purpose. This might seem straightforward, but it goes much deeper than what we often think. When Marcus Aurelius speaks of purpose, he's not talking about grand ambitions or public success. It's not about what society expects of you, or what would make you look successful in the eyes of others. Instead, your purpose is a personal, internal guiding force that drives your actions and decisions. Marcus Aurelius believed that living in agreement with nature was about understanding your role in the grand scheme of things. But what does this mean for us today? In simple terms, it's about aligning your daily actions with your deeper calling. You might be asking yourself, what is my deeper calling? That's not always easy to answer. Many of us get lost in the noise of life, distracted by the expectations of others or by the superficial goals society imposes on us. But for true discipline and for a life well lived, identifying your true purpose is essential. When you define your purpose, you create a clear sense of direction, and self-discipline becomes a natural byproduct of living intentionally. Picture this. You wake up each day knowing exactly what you're working toward, not because someone told you to, but because it aligns with who you are. This clarity removes the need for external motivation. Instead, your purpose fuels your drive. It's what gets you out of bed on those tough mornings, and it's what keeps you going when life throws obstacles in your way. Think about it. Without purpose, discipline can feel like a chore, a never-ending grind. But with purpose, discipline becomes a form of self-respect, a way of honoring your commitment to yourself and to the world. It's not about external validation. It's about knowing that you are fulfilling the unique role that only you can play in this life. Whether your purpose is to create, to serve, to lead, or to teach, knowing your why gives meaning to the discipline you cultivate every day. So how do you find your purpose? Start by asking yourself, what do I care about most deeply? What makes me come alive? It could be solving a particular problem, helping a specific group of people, or mastering a skill that feels meaningful. Don't rush this process. Purpose isn't something you decide overnight. It's something you discover through reflection, through trial and error, and through listening to that quiet voice inside that knows what truly matters to you. When you've defined your purpose, discipline stops being about willpower. It becomes about alignment. Every action you take becomes an expression of your purpose, and in that alignment you find strength, resilience, and focus. Focus on what you can control. Now that we've discussed purpose, let's move on to the second key Stoic principle: focusing on what you can control. This is at the heart of Stoic philosophy and one of the most powerful ideas for cultivating self-discipline. Too often, we waste our energy worrying about things outside of our control: other people's opinions, the actions of others, external circumstances, even the weather. But Marcus Aurelius teaches us that these external factors are distractions. They drain your energy and focus. Stoicism encourages us to divide the world into two categories: the things we can control and the things we can't. So what's in your control? According to Marcus Aurelius, it's your own actions, your thoughts, your decisions, and how you respond to what happens in life. Everything else, whether it's the behavior of others, random events, or uncontrollable circumstances, lies outside of your control. When you truly understand this distinction, you can redirect your energy to where it matters, on the things you can influence. Think about how liberating this is. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you free yourself from frustration and anxiety. Instead of worrying about what others think or how events will unfold, you focus on your actions, your mindset, and your effort. This shift in focus not only brings peace of mind, but also sharpens your self-discipline. Let's break this down with an example. Imagine you're working on a project and suddenly things start to go wrong. Maybe a colleague drops the ball or an unexpected problem arises. You could spend your time and energy complaining, getting frustrated, and worrying about how these events might derail your progress. But none of that is within your control. What is in your control is how you respond. You can choose to remain calm, to adapt, and to take the next best step forward. This principle doesn't just apply to big challenges. It's equally powerful in everyday situations. Let's say you're stuck in traffic or your plans get canceled last minute. Instead of letting these minor disruptions ruin your day, you remind yourself that the situation itself is not in your control, but your reaction to it is. This mindset allows you to stay disciplined, focused, and calm, regardless of the chaos around you. When you practice focusing on what you can control, you build a mental fortress against distractions and setbacks. Your energy is no longer scattered on things that don't matter, and instead, you direct it towards meaningful action. This is how self-discipline thrives, by concentrating on what's within your power and letting go of the rest. Show up every day. The third Stoic principle is one that may seem simple, but its impact is profound. Show up every day. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the importance of consistency. He understood that greatness isn't achieved through occasional bursts of effort, but through the steady daily practice of showing up. Discipline is built in the small moments, in the routines, and in the daily commitment to doing what needs to be done. Showing up doesn't mean being perfect. It doesn't mean making monumental progress every day. It means taking action, no matter how small, and doing so consistently over time. Consider how this applies to any area of your life, whether it's your work, your health, your relationships, or your personal growth. The key to success isn't found in grand gestures or rare moments of inspiration. It's found in the quiet, steady effort of showing up. If you're writing a book, it's not about waiting for the perfect moment of inspiration. It's about sitting down every day, even if you only write a single paragraph. If you're training for a marathon, it's not about running the longest distance you can every week. It's about putting on your running shoes and getting out the door, even if it's just for a short jog. There's power in this consistency. Each day that you show up, you build a habit. You strengthen your willpower. You train your mind and body to stay disciplined. And over time, these small efforts add up. The progress may be slow, but it's steady. And that's how lasting change happens. This principle is especially important in a world full of distractions. With social media, endless entertainment, and constant demands on our attention, it's easy to get pulled off track. But when you commit to showing up every day, you create a structure for yourself that keeps you grounded. You set a standard that no matter what happens, you will take action. You will move forward. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of doing your duty. For him, this wasn't just about fulfilling obligations as an emperor. It was about the personal duty he had to himself, to live according to his values, to stay disciplined, and to act with integrity. Showing up every day is how we fulfill that duty to ourselves. It's how we honor the commitment we've made to live with purpose and discipline. Embrace discomfort. Next, let's explore the fourth Stoic principle, embracing discomfort. In today's world, comfort is often seen as the ultimate goal. We seek convenience, luxury, and ease. But Marcus Aurelius, like other Stoics, understood that true growth happens when we step outside our comfort zone. In fact, they believed that voluntarily embracing discomfort was essential to building self-discipline. Aurelius practiced what's known as voluntary discomfort, deliberately putting himself in situations that were challenging. Whether it was fasting, waking up early, or enduring physical hardships, he believed that by training the mind and body to handle discomfort, he would be better prepared for the inevitable challenges of life. This principle is incredibly relevant today. We live in a world where we can avoid discomfort at nearly every turn. Hungry? We have fast food at our fingertips. Tired? We can take a break anytime we want. Bored? Endless entertainment is just a click away. But this constant pursuit of comfort weakens our ability to handle adversity. When you embrace discomfort voluntarily, you're not punishing yourself. You're training yourself. You're preparing your mind and body to be resilient in the face of challenges. It's like building a mental muscle. The more you practice discomfort, the stronger you become. Think of it this way. If you've never experienced hunger, the first time you skip a meal, it feels unbearable. But if you practice fasting regularly, you learn that hunger is temporary and you can endure it. Similarly, if you've never pushed yourself physically, the first time you exercise intensely, it feels overwhelming. But with practice, your body and mind adapt, and what once seemed difficult becomes manageable. This principle applies to all areas of life. Whether it's dealing with rejection, facing failure, or pushing through fatigue, the more you expose yourself to discomfort, the more resilient and disciplined you become. So how can you start embracing discomfort in your own life? You don't have to go to extremes. Start small. Maybe it's waking up earlier than usual. Maybe it's going for a run in the rain instead of waiting for perfect weather. Maybe it's giving up a luxury you're used to, like your morning coffee, for a few days. Each of these small acts of discomfort helps you build mental toughness. The beauty of embracing discomfort is that it shifts your mindset. Instead of seeing challenges as something to avoid, you start to see them as opportunities for growth. You realize that discomfort is not the enemy. It's the path to becoming stronger, more disciplined, and more resilient. Practice mindfulness. The fifth principle is mindfulness, or as Marcus Aurelius might put it, staying present in the moment. We live in a world that constantly pulls us in different directions. Our minds are often caught up in regrets from the past or anxieties about the future. But the Stoics teach us that discipline thrives in the present moment. When you're fully present, you can focus on the task at hand. You're not distracted by what happened yesterday or worried about what might happen tomorrow. You're here, now, doing what needs to be done. This kind of focus is essential for self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the importance of doing today's work today. He reminded himself that the present moment is all we have and that we should give our full attention to it. This practice of mindfulness doesn't just make you more productive. It helps you approach each task with care and intentionality. Think about the difference it makes when you're fully present in what you're doing. Whether it's a conversation with a friend, a project at work, or a workout at the gym, when you give your full attention to the moment, you perform better. You're more engaged, more thoughtful, and more disciplined. But mindfulness is not just about focus, it's also about acceptance. When you're fully present, you accept the moment for what it is, without wishing it were different. This is a key part of Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself not to resist what happens, but to accept it and respond to it with calm and reason. In practical terms, this means letting go of the need to control everything and instead focusing on how you can best respond to what's happening right now. If you're caught in traffic, instead of getting frustrated, you accept the situation and use the time to reflect or listen to something productive. If you're facing a difficult task, instead of procrastinating or avoiding it, you focus on taking the first small step. Mindfulness also helps you stay disciplined by reducing the mental clutter that often derails us. When your mind is clear and focused, distractions lose their power. You're able to stay on track and make progress towards your goals. Control your desires. Moving on to the sixth principle, controlling your desires. Marcus Aurelius believed that unchecked desires lead to chaos, both in the mind and in life. The Stoics understood that while desire itself isn't inherently bad, it's the mindless pursuit of fleeting pleasures that can derail discipline and cloud judgment. In today's world, where instant gratification is always within reach, controlling desires has become even more critical. Whether it's the desire for material possessions, indulgent food, or endless entertainment, we're constantly bombarded with temptations that promise immediate satisfaction. But the Stoics knew that true fulfillment comes not from chasing every desire, but from exercising restraint. Delayed gratification is a powerful tool for building discipline. By choosing to postpone immediate pleasures in favor of long-term rewards, you strengthen your willpower. This could mean saving money instead of spending it impulsively, choosing a healthy meal over fast food, or dedicating time to a challenging project instead of indulging in entertainment. Marcus Aurelius believed that when we are slaves to our desires, we lose control over our own lives. But by exercising self-control, we reclaim our freedom. This doesn't mean denying ourselves pleasure altogether, but rather being mindful of which desires serve us and which distract us from our purpose. When you practice controlling your desires, you learn to distinguish between what you truly need and what is simply a fleeting craving. This awareness helps you stay focused on your long-term goals and prevents you from getting sidetracked by short-term impulses. Reflect daily. The seventh Stoic principle is one that can have a transformative effect on your self-discipline. Daily reflection. Marcus Aurelius himself practiced this regularly, taking time at the end of each day to review his actions, decisions, and behaviors. He would ask himself, "Did I live according to my principles today? Was I guided by wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation?" This daily reflection allowed him to course correct and continuously improve his discipline and character. Incorporating daily reflection into your own life is a powerful way to stay aligned with your values and goals. At the end of each day, take a moment to ask yourself, how did I handle the challenges that came my way? Did I act in accordance with my purpose? What could I have done better? This process is not about harsh self-criticism, but about learning from your experiences and making adjustments for the future. By reflecting daily, you become more aware of your actions and how they contribute to your overall discipline. You start to see patterns in your behavior, both positive and negative, and this awareness helps you make intentional changes. Reflect daily. The seventh Stoic principle is one that can have a transformative effect on your self-discipline. Daily reflection. Marcus Aurelius himself practiced this regularly, taking time at the end of each day to review his actions, decisions, and behaviors. He would ask himself, "Did I live according to my principles today? Was I guided by wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation?" This daily reflection allowed him to course correct and continuously improve his discipline and character. Incorporating daily reflection into your own life is a powerful way to stay aligned with your values and goals. At the end of each day, take a moment to ask yourself, how did I handle the challenges that came my way? Did I act in accordance with my purpose? What could I have done better? This process is not about harsh self-criticism, but about learning from your experiences and making adjustments for the future. By reflecting daily, you become more aware of your actions and how they contribute to your overall discipline. You start to see patterns in your behavior, both positive and negative, and this awareness helps you make intentional changes. For example, you might notice that you consistently struggle with procrastination in certain areas of your life. Through reflection, you can identify the underlying causes and take steps to address them. Or you might realize that you've been neglecting an important aspect of your life, like your health or relationships. Reflection gives you the clarity to realign your priorities and take action. Over time, this habit of daily reflection builds self-awareness and helps you stay committed to your path. It's a simple practice, but one that can have a profound impact on your discipline and personal growth. Be indifferent to praise and criticism. The eighth Stoic principle is indifference to praise and criticism. In a world where social validation is often seen as the ultimate goal, this principle might seem counterintuitive. But Marcus Aurelius understood that relying on the opinions of others for your sense of self-worth is a dangerous trap. Stoicism teaches us that external validation is outside of our control. Whether people praise or criticize us is a reflection of their own perceptions, not of our intrinsic worth. When we become too focused on gaining approval or avoiding disapproval, we lose sight of what really matters, living according to our values. Imagine how much more disciplined you could be if you weren't constantly seeking validation from others. If you didn't need praise to feel good about yourself, and if criticism didn't shake your confidence, you'd be free to focus on what truly matters, your own growth and your own journey. This doesn't mean ignoring feedback altogether. Constructive criticism can be valuable for self-improvement, but Stoicism encourages us to evaluate feedback based on its merit, rather than its emotional impact. When you detach from the need for praise or the fear of criticism, you develop a stronger sense of self-reliance. You trust your own judgment and values, rather than being swayed by the opinions of others. This principle is especially relevant in the age of social media, where likes, comments, and followers often become a measure of success. But as Marcus Aurelius would remind us, true discipline and fulfillment come from within, not from external accolades. Cultivate inner strength. Our ninth principle is cultivating inner strength. For the Stoics, true power comes from within. Marcus Aurelius believed that self-reliance and personal accountability were key to building resilience and discipline. When you rely on others for your sense of stability or success, you give away your power. But when you take full responsibility for your own growth, you become unbreakable. This inner strength is not about being isolated or refusing help from others. It's about recognizing that the ultimate responsibility for your actions, reactions, and personal growth rests with you. When you rely on yourself to stay disciplined, you build resilience that can withstand life's challenges. Inner strength is developed through the daily practice of discipline, consistency, and self-reflection. Each time you show up, each time you push through discomfort, each time you make a choice that aligns with your values, you're cultivating that inner strength. Over time, this strength becomes a source of confidence. You know that no matter what happens in life, you have the resilience and discipline to handle it. You don't need external validation or constant motivation from others. Your strength comes from within. Find role models. Finally, the 10th principle is finding role models. Even Marcus Aurelius, an emperor and a Stoic philosopher, looked up to those who embodied the virtues he aspired to develop. Stoicism teaches us to seek out wise individuals who model the traits we want to cultivate in ourselves: wisdom, courage, justice, and moderation. Role models can provide us with a tangible example of what it means to live with discipline and virtue. Whether they are historical figures, contemporary leaders, or even people in our personal lives, these individuals serve as a guide for how we can navigate challenges with grace and integrity. When you choose a role model, look for someone who embodies the qualities you admire and aspire to develop. This could be someone who has shown resilience in the face of adversity, someone who consistently acts with integrity, or someone who has achieved mastery in an area that matters to you. But remember, emulating role models is not about copying them. It's about learning from their example and incorporating those lessons into your own life. Marcus Aurelius didn't strive to become exactly like those he admired. Instead, he used their virtues as inspiration to become the best version of himself. By surrounding yourself with the influence of virtuous individuals, whether through books, mentorship, or observation, you raise the standard for your own behavior. You begin to internalize the discipline and wisdom that they model, and over time you start to embody those traits yourself. And there you have it, 10 Stoic principles for unbreakable self-discipline. These principles aren't just abstract ideas. They're practical tools that you can use to transform how you approach life's challenges. Whether it's defining your purpose, focusing on what you can control, showing up every day, embracing discomfort, practicing mindfulness, controlling desires, reflecting daily, being indifferent to praise and criticism, cultivating inner strength, or finding role models, each of these principles offers a powerful way to build discipline and live with intention. If you're ready to start applying these principles in your life, take that first step today. Pick one principle that resonates with you and commit to practicing it daily. Remember, self-discipline isn't something you achieve overnight. It's a journey, and each day is an opportunity to grow stronger. If you're looking for more insights into Stoic wisdom and how it can help you lead a more disciplined life, be sure to hit the subscribe button and join our community of modern Stoics. Together, we'll continue this journey toward living with purpose, resilience, and wisdom.